Welcome back, Pasco High Saturday Recovery students. This is video 2, Inquiry B, Writing Procedures. This is a continuation of video 1, which was how to write an investigative question. Okay, writing procedures. So, we've developed our investigative question. We know what we want to test. We've identified our manipulated variable and our responding variable. So now it's time to actually write out a procedure as if we were going to do this experiment. Okay, so let's remember our question. We said, how does changing the amount of water you water the lawn with affect the number of green blades in the coffee cup circle? Okay, that's our question that we're testing. So let's double check. Do we remember our manipulated and responding variable? If you think you can identify them, go ahead and look at the question. Say it to yourself, what are the manipulated and responding variables? Take about 5 seconds. Okay. So, if you said the manipulated variable was the amount of water, you are correct. And the responding variable would be the number of green blades that we count in the circle. Okay, so let's talk about another variable that we need to identify here, and that's our controls. Okay, our controlled variable is very important. Controlled variables are needed because that's what we need to prevent unreliable data. Okay, we need to make sure that we are keeping the same the controls, so then that way we get a good data sample. All right, so what would be some controls for this investigation? What are some things that we would want to keep the same? Take about 15 seconds and come up with a few controlled variables you think we should keep the same. Ready, go. Okay. So here's what I came up with. Let's see if you got something similar to mine. I said we should keep the same lawn, same water pressure, and the same time of day. Okay, if we don't use the same lawn, we could end up getting some unreliable data. Same thing with using different water pressure coming out of the hose, and we might get some unreliable data if we change up the time of day that we do our counting. So if you got something similar to mine, awesome. Okay. So before we start creating our procedure, let's get organized. There are many steps to a procedure. There's a lot of information that's included. So let's start out by getting organized here. And we've got some specific steps set out for you in order for you to be proficient. In many of your classes, you have seen what we call a frame. It's kind of like an outline. So we're going to ask that you use the same outline and the same steps that you've been using in your regular classes. So step 1 is always to gather your materials. You want to identify what are the materials that you're going to need to use in this experiment. Step 2 is where you are labeling your manipulated variable with 3 conditions. Conditions are the ways that you are changing the manipulated variable. Okay, so the manipulated variable in this experiment is the amount of water. So we need 3 changes for the amount of water. Next up is step 3, and that's where we identify what we're keeping the same. What are our controlled variables? You should have at least 2. Okay, if you want to score proficient or above, I would definitely recommend you identify at least 2 controlled variables. 3 would be best, and 4 is optional. Okay, step 4, be sure to use. So what is our measurement tool going to be here? For this experiment, it's pretty specific. We're going to be using the coffee cup circle to count the number of green blades that we see. Step 5. Okay, step 5 is probably the most important step, in my opinion, to the procedure. This is where you need to be very detailed. Perform the test by ... So what do you want them to do? Okay, you need to have a description explaining to the person what is it that they need to do in order to actually perform this test. So step 5 is probably going to be a little bit longer than the other steps just because you need to add in some detail. Okay, step 6. So record. What is it that we want to record here? Okay, so this is where you are recording your results. Okay, you're recording the data, but you don't ever want to just say record data. You need to be specific with exactly what it is you want the person to record. You should probably have some kind of a data table somewhere for you to put this information. And step 7, this is where this is our reliability piece. Which parts of the procedure would you like them to repeat? How many times, right? How many trials should they do this? And the purpose, of course, is to get good data, reliable data. Okay, you've all been given a worksheet. This will probably look familiar to most. The worksheet is basically an outline for how to write a procedure. So what I would like you to do now at this point, I would like you to start filling in the outline you've been given for our investigative question with watering the lawn and the number of green blades. So good luck with your procedure writing, and I will see you on the next video, writing conclusions.